Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Marcus LaFrance, and today we're going to talk about cigarettes and their harmful effects. So according to epg.org, cigarette smoke kills more Americans than drugs, homicide, fire, and car crashes combined. Right here on this graph, you can see the preventable causes of death in the United States, and smoking is the #1 killer. I have personally had family members in the past die from cigarette addiction. We have all been affected in some way or another by cigarettes. I hope to influence people to stop smoking cigarettes because it affects many young people, the people around the smokers, and the smokers themselves. I'm going to take us through some of the ways cigarettes affects us. So, smoking cigarettes has many different negative effects, one of which being it affects young people. So teenagers and young adults are probably the most prone group to cigarette addiction because obviously peer pressure, when you're at a party and somebody offers you a cigarette, you're more than likely to take it to fit in. So according to Edward Forrester and Mark Elridge, authors of the book Health Effects of Menthol Cigarettes, the vast majority, which is 88% of adult smokers in the United States, start to smoke before age 18. Thus, youth and young adulthood appear to be a critical age span for initiation of cigarette smoking. So it's important that we mention to the youth how important it is to not smoke cigarettes because they're the most prone age group out of everybody else. So smoking cigarettes also affects those who are around the smoker with a secondhand smoke. So a lot of people think that just because they aren't directly smoking a cigarette that they cannot be affected to it. Young children who belong to households which have parents who smoke are usually affected by secondhand smoke. So according to lung.org, secondhand smoke is especially harmful to young children. Secondhand smoke is responsible for between 150,000 and 300,000 lower respiratory tract infections in infants and children under 18 months of age, resulting in between 7,500 and 15,000 hospitalizations each year. It also causes 437 infant death syndrome deaths in the United States annually. So not only are children affected, but also adults. According to CDC.gov, it is estimated that secondhand smoke caused nearly 34,000 heart disease deaths each year during 2005 through 2009 among adult non-smokers in the United States. So just because you aren't doing the smoking directly doesn't mean that you cannot be harmed by it. Cigarettes also cause several serious physical repercussions. So right here I have a picture of the human body and it's showing all the different effects of smoking. So smoking causes an increased risk in stroke, blindness, gum infection, aortic rupture, heart disease, pneumonia, hardening of the arteries, chronic lung disease and asthma, reduced fertility, and hip fracture. Also, a lot of people think that just because just one cigarette won't have any physical repercussions, but this is false. It is proven that even within one cigarette, you can start feeling the physical effects of it. So BeTobaccoFree.gov says that every cigarette you smoke damages your breathing and scars your lungs. Smoking causes emphysema, a condition in which the walls between the air sacs in your lungs lose their ability to stretch and shrink back. Your lung tissue is destroyed, making it difficult or impossible to breathe. And this is why a lot of people who smoke have a hard time going up the stairs, down the stairs, or running. Their lungs aren't capable of doing what they could do before. Many people think that they will not get addicted, but this is also false. It only takes one cigarette to get somebody addicted. BeTobaccoFree.gov states that the buzz fades quickly and leaves a person feeling tired, a little down, and wanting the buzz again. This feeling is what makes you light up the next cigarette. Since your body is able to build up a high tolerance to nicotine, you need more and more cigarettes to give you that same effect with the nicotine. So it's just much easier if you never start smoking cigarettes than to break the habit. Dr. Nora D. Valco, director of the U.S. National Institute on Drug Abuse, says that drug addiction is a mental illness. It is a complex brain disease characterized by compulsive, at times uncontrollable drug craving. So it's very, very hard to stop drug abuse. Although fighting off addiction might seem impossible, there are a lot of ways that a person can stop smoking. So quitting smoking cigarettes can be very difficult, but the first thing a person can do to help themselves out is make a plan. Persons should think about how they're going to quit smoking cigarettes, and there's many different ways you can do this. You can go cold turkey, you can have behavioral therapy, nicotine replacement, and medication. So cold turkey is when a person refuses to take medication or any kind of outside help, and they just wait for the physical symptoms to pass. Behavioral therapy is when a person goes to a counselor, and the counselor helps them find ways to battle their cravings and addiction, and helps them find ways to avoid triggers. People can also try nicotine replacement, which is where they can put a nicotine patch on themselves, or smoke vapes with nicotine. That way they're not smoking a cigarette, and eventually just wean themselves off of cigarettes, and then eventually, hopefully, just wean themselves completely off of nicotine. And then people can also take medication to help subdue the symptoms of withdrawal so they can get past it. So these are all different ways a person could stop smoking cigarettes. So once a person decides how they're going to quit, they should stop smoking cigarettes and start relying on the preferred method to get them through their withdrawal symptoms. So once a person stops smoking, it's important for them to stay busy. Go for runs, take a walk, take a hike, swimming, drinking lots of water. It's important to avoid triggers, which is basically anything that triggers you to want to smoke again. So no bars, no parties. Just try to avoid any kind of places where you might get tempted to smoke cigarettes. It's important to stay positive. After going for weeks or months without smoking, the person will be completely smoke-free. So after 48 hours, your sense of taste starts to return. After 48 hours of not smoking, after 6 weeks, your energy levels are through the roof. You'll be more energized. You'll want to start exercising, do more things. After 6 months, your lung capacity is greatly improved. And here's some other benefits of quitting smoking. Obviously, some of them do take time, but some of them happen almost immediately. Within 20 minutes of not smoking, your heart rate will already return to its normal levels. Within 2 hours of not smoking, your heart rate and blood pressure will have returned to almost completely normal levels. After 2 or 3 weeks of quitting, your lung capacity and performance will begin to regenerate and improve, as will your circulation. And approximately 1 year after smoking, your overall risk for coronary heart disease decreases by half. And not to mention, you'll have extra money in your wallet due to financial independence from cigarettes. So addiction to cigarettes might seem like an impossible habit to break, but it can be done. And young people, people who hang out around smokers, and smokers themselves are all affected by cigarettes. Whether we choose to believe it or not, we're all affected by cigarettes in either direct or indirect ways. And if we all band together, we can put an end to cigarettes. Thank you.